Hello one and all, Alex Ward here with Matrix Amplification, and today we're going to be checking out a scenario that is pretty common in the working musician world, and that is when your band gets offered a gig abroad, some sort of fly date, or perhaps a festival where you have to have a very quick setup time, so maybe you have to strip back your rig. So what we're going to be doing is checking out if the VB800 can give you an amazing sounding fly rig with no compromise in your tone. So what's often the case is that you go abroad and you take a guitar, maybe check your guitar in on the plane, take some sort of small pedal board with a couple of necessary pedals to get your tone, and that's it. And then you get to the gig and you're at the mercy of whatever backline they have. So be that a Marshall or a Fender style amplifier. I mean, it could be anything. So often you are able to set up your pedals so that they sound pretty good in front of any amplifier. But what's often the case is that you have to make some sort of compromise. Maybe the amplifier that you get given doesn't really complement the pedals that you have and love. There's all sorts of variables in that kind of situation. So as I say, we're going to check out the VB800 and see if you can take that with you with no compromise in tone, with a couple of pedals in front of it and in the loop, and see if it can get you the sound that you want. So let's check it out. Okay, so let's check out the rig I'm going to be using today and why I'm going to be using it. So obviously you can see there's an Axe FX there, which kind of defeats the purpose of what you might think this video is about. The only reason I'm using it is because it's what I have to hand at the moment. But as we all know, the Axe FX's pedal emulation is excellent, as is the Helix, as is the Kemper, as are all sorts of other modelers. So the principle still applies to analog pedals. Or if you were using, let's say, the Helix pedal board or the AX8 pedal board, which are easy to take in your hand luggage on a plane. So, like I say, this applies to analog pedals as well. So, yeah, we've got the Axe FX, and that is hooked up in the 4-cable method into the VB800, which is then going into a Marshall 2x12, which is loaded with Celestion G12 T75s. This is quite a common cab that you might be faced with when you're out and about, but you know the principle still applies that you've got to have some sort of cab when you're there. So yeah, so that's that. The Axe FX is literally just got pedals in the chain, so there's no amp simulation, there's no cab simulation. So like I say, if you're using analog pedals, the principle is exactly the same. If you've got your favourite pedals, they're going to sound great. So let's just take a look at the Axe FX chain. So what we'll do is we'll go into the layout here. So as you can see, we have shunts, lots of shunts. We've got 2 drive blocks, and I'm actually using 3 drive pedals. Then we've got the effects loop, so that's what's providing me with the ability to use the 4-cable method. Then we've got a chorus pedal, a delay, and a reverb. Now this is all pretty overkill actually, but even then, 6 pedals, you can take 6 pedals in your hand luggage, along with the VB800 and some cables. Or you can use, as I say, your FX8, AX8, Helix, whatever. So that's what we've got. We've got a low gain drive pedal, we've got a medium gain drive pedal, and a high gain drive pedal. The VB800 is set as such. Now the luxury of this kind of setup is that you can take some time honing in your tones. So you don't have to compromise and think, oh well, this will sound kind of good in front of a Marshall, kind of good in front of a Fender. No, you can really sit down with this and make your pedals sing through the Matrix. So in this case, I'm going into low input to get sort of clean sound with the gain about 12 o'clock. We then have the bass at 1 o'clock, middle about the same, and the high is at about 9, 10 o'clock. And don't be afraid to experiment with these knobs. They have a huge range. So this high one in particular is emulating treble and presence. So as you start to roll it all the way up, you're going to get a big sweep here. So don't be afraid to mess with that. And then we run the volume about here. This is pretty damn loud. It can get even louder. So even though you're running about 2 o'clock already, at 3 o'clock it's almost, you know, the difference in volume is staggering. And then, as I say, we're going into this Marshall cabinet, mic'd up with an SM57 because that's pretty standard in a live setting. So yeah, let's check this out, see if it sounds any good. Spoiler alert, it does. VB800 with some pedals in the front, some pedals in the loop, delivering a fantastic fly rig with no compromise in tone. Now, the VB800 weighs only 4 pounds, and as you can see here, I'm putting it into my carry-on suitcase, along with a couple of leads, plenty of space for some analog pedals, and also plenty of space for your favourite clothes to get you through the gig. So, until next time, take it easy.